Hey everybody, welcome to We Run on Reruns. I'm Amanda and this is my brother Eric.
How's it going, everybody? Hope you had a good week.
Yeah, so glad you guys have joined us once again as we talk about the very first episodes of season 2 of Friends. Today we're rerunning episodes 1 through 4 of season 2, and I have to say, the way that this season starts is so good, so memorable, and
Absolutely.
a lot of fun for me to rerun. Yeah.
Oh, I said it last week when we were talking about how season 1 ended. I'm like, well, season 2 is kind of off to a bang. Like, it's a great episode to start with. So yeah, these are some good ones here.
Yeah, we have decided to organize things a little bit differently. Eric is still going to be giving a synopsis of each episode, but instead of rerunning through the synopses of all the episodes all at once, we're going to share our favorite moments and lines after each brief recap. And this will help us not forget moments we want to talk about. Actually, like I was recalling when we were deciding on this kind of redo, Jan Levinson Gould being the bug curator who gets attacked by Marcel.
True, we never did talk about that.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's something that I definitely would have pointed out if we had kind of kept better order of each episode and kind of gone through them one by one and then discussed, because that that I love that. Just that callback. I didn't, that was one character that on the first watch totally didn't know who that was. Obviously, this was way before The Office. But then many years later, she just caught my eye. And I don't know if it
comes back around.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and here's the thing. We're trying to organize this a little bit easier so that it makes it easier for all of you at home as well as us. Like if you're listening to this, hopefully, I'm sure a lot of you know these episodes inside and out like we do. And if that's the case, then as we go through them one episode at a time, it kind of like keeps everything a little bit more cohesive. So sometimes we might talk about one a little bit longer than the other, but that's the game plan.
Yeah, perfect. And then toward the end we'll then go back to like our IMDb ratings as we've been doing, and compare the ratings out there to how we rate them and kind of, have a discussion about that. Yeah.
And I did my best this week. I have not looked at them yet myself. I
nice.
Usually bring them up and write them all down beforehand. No, kept it blind. So I don't know what they are yet.
Yeah.
It's on my screen.
Yeah.
But hidden. And so we can pull that up when the time comes.
Yeah, nice. And we're covering 4 episodes instead of 8, because we always have so much to talk about. So we felt like we're squeezing so much into one show. So instead, we're going to be releasing another episode later in the week with the next 4. So you'll still get all 8 in one week, but they'll just be broken out into 2 different episodes.
There you go.
Yeah. So, so many funny scenes with Rachel in the Julie Ross situation, the Tailor scene, which is one of my favorites, I think.
Oh my goodness.
The evolution discussion, another favorite. And then the Steve Zahn cameo, if you're a Saving Silverman fan. That's what I always think of whenever I see this dude, but yeah.
I don't understand how that's the place that everybody remembers him from, but it is definitely one of the places that I remember him from too.
Well,
I can't explain it.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in a bunch of stuff, but I always think I love that movie. That movie is seriously underrated. It's so funny. I've seen it many times.
But was that movie so good that it resonated with this? Oh man, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a minute since I've sat down to watch Saving Silverman.
Jack Black.
But that is where I know him from. And I have seen it multiple times.
Jack Black with the chair when it falls apart. It's a lug nut. I fixed it. Anyway. So yeah. All that to be said, yeah, this week, just random stuff that's been going on with me. I finally decided to cancel a gym membership that I just haven't been using. Just
I applaud that. No gym.
Just straight up.
We did the same not all that long ago.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we have stuff here. Like, there's really no reason, and it wasn't crazy expensive, but it was more money than I really should have been spending on something that I was not regularly using. I would go through these like bursts where I would go, and then I'm like, and then I just wouldn't go often enough, and I'm like, you know what? I am canceling this membership, and of course, then I think of Chandler saying, I want to quit the gym. I want to quit.
Okay.
So
this was the summer where I tried to get a lot of our finances in place with a lot of these things like erroneous spendings that we had, like this gym membership, which we still have partially, but we're not spending nearly as much on it as we were before. And I kept saying to Tina, I was like, I want to quit the gym. And like that was it. Like that, she knew exactly what we were talking about. We were just busting out laughing because every day when we were discussing whether or not we should do, that was the line. Yeah. I want to quit the gym.
Yeah, and I mean,
it sucks right into your bank account. But, although we tried to do it online, and no, they made us come in.
Oh, really?
We had to go in.
So see, yeah. I have to applaud. It was YMCA that I was quitting, and they were great. Like, honestly, this place is great. It's literally right around the corner, so it is just like the fact that I wasn't going and still paying for it, no excuse. Anyway, so, but I called them because I'm thinking, am I gonna be in this situation? Because I don't even want to go in, even though it's right there. Like, if I'm just going to quit, then it's just like the walk of shame, like the whole thing. So I called them and they're like, oh, no, like, you just have to log in and just cancel it there. And of course, I mean, I didn't even know I had a login, first of all. I'm like, oh, I log in. And this woman was super sweet and kind of walked me through. I mean, yeah, then I literally just click cancel and then it's done. So, yeah, I have to say.
That's great.
Applaud the YMCA. I don't know which gym you belong to, if it was more of a local thing.
We also belong to the YMCA.
Oh!
But listen, it's just different. Like, just is what it is.
Well, New Hampshire's making it happen then.
Yeah, Ohio, a little less so. But that's okay. Yeah. We still got it down to where we wanted it to be.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
Okay, well, let me jump into our first synopsis here for season 2, episode 1, the one with Ross's new girlfriend. Ross arrives home from China with a new girlfriend, Julie. Rachel, who was expecting to start dating him upon arrival, has to deal with the loss of a love that never existed. Phoebe has given the guys great haircuts, and Monica is hoping for the same, but Phoebe ends up cutting it like Dudley Moore instead of Demi Moore. At the same time, Joey has Chandler go see his Tailor, who's maybe a little inappropriate. And we'll leave it from there. So go ahead, Amanda. Take it away. Jump right into episode 1.
Welcome to our country. Thank you. I'm from New York. Like,
that's literally the first thing I have written down.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'm like, oh God, make it stop. Like that scene.
That's all right. We'll just use these to stop bleeding.
Oh,
bam. And shoves the flowers in her hand.
Literally also the next line I had.
Oh, terrible.
Not terrible.
Horrible. That is just the worst moments. Like when you think things can't get worse for Rachel, it just keeps getting worse. And I don't know what my rankings are across the series. But the scene where they arrive back at the apartment and Rachel is just dealing with all of it, and all of the friends know what she's going through, but they're also trying to like meet the girlfriend. That is maybe the funniest Rachel scene in the entire series. It's way high on my list. It's unbelievable.
I agree. Her racing up the stairs and being out of breath and just trying to explain what happened, because of course they're all expecting her to come back with Ross and then they're together and all this stuff, and so she's trying to like prep them for what's happening, and apparently she just had bolted out of the cab that they all were in together, ran up the stairs, and then the moment where she just steals the joke when Julie's trying to tell the story and Rachel just busts in and the chicken poops in her lap. And she's like, oh, I just heard this story in the cab and this is all I can think about. And it's like, oh God, it's, super awkward. And Ross just kind of acts like he's just so oblivious, I feel like, in a lot of these scenes. He's the only
one who has, both him and Julie, they have no idea.
Well, sure, but it just, there are moments, though, where I'm thinking, Ross, you can't, like, kind of read the situation. I think he just can't fathom at all that she would have possibly have been there. I mean, the fact that she was there with flowers and just there on her own, waiting for him, it's like he didn't get the hint at all that maybe that's why she was there, but it just is so far from his radar. I think that just goes to show he's
just so excited to be bringing home Julie.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
That none of this is resonating with him because he's now met someone and he can finally get over Rachel. And so here she comes in and we're going to usher her in, and you know, the whole idea of, I can't wait for you to meet my friends. Like, you know, aren't they going to be me? Like, yeah, but I still can't wait for you to meet them. You know, like that's all that was in his line of sight, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also had then the line, like, isn't that just kick you in the crotch and spit on your neck?
Oh my gosh, yes, I had that too. And that's when basically Ross and Julie are explaining how, because they had gone to grad school together, right? It was grad school, I believe. And then they didn't see each other for a long time. And then who was there but Julie? And she's like, oh, Julie was there. Isn't that just, isn't that just fantastic? And it's like, oh my gosh. And they're all looking at her as she's like pouring this gigantic glass of wine too. And like just immediately upon entering the apartment, like doing nothing else, but just, and
she's still, throughout this whole thing, Rachel is like partially bleeding from the head, like out of breath. She's a complete nightmare.
It is.
And the whole physicality of what Jennifer Aniston is doing at the same time with the lines that Rachel is doing and the emotion that it's all coming together. Like, this is so great. I don't have enough positivity to shed on this scene. Agree. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it is such a good opener for the second season. I love that they just introduced the second season this way, and instead of like having this rolled into the last episode or like cutting, it was just cut so perfectly.
I mean, listen, this kicks off season 2 with a bang. And then you also have the other storylines. You have Monica's haircut and you have the Tailor.
Oh, the Tailor scene.
Which one of those do you want to jump into?
Well, first? I had the Tailor scene next, where Joey's Tailor, because
it's a short scene, but it's
kind of broken up into a few different sections, because first Chandler is asking Joey, like, hey, do you have a tailor? I forget even what he needed the suit for. What did he? I'm not even recalling. Yeah, I'm not even, now I'm like having trouble. I did not write that part down, but he says, he's asking Joey about his tailor, and Joey said, yo, yeah. Which it's also just funny that Joey has a tailor because he's like the most casual of the group. And it's like, I wouldn't even imagine, but he said, his first suit was when he was 15. No, 16. No, 15. When was 1990? And Chandler just looks at him and he's like, okay, you have to stop the Q-tip when there's resistance. And that is one of my favorite Chandler lines, I think, of the whole, like, that one always just kills me every time because he has the whole...
It gets a great audience reaction, too.
Yes, and it's the whole physicality of it, too. He's, like, holding his hand, like, up to his ear, like, with the imaginary Q-tip, and it's great. And, yeah, that's one of my favorite moments there. And then I think, is it later in that scene when then Joey says, when you see Frankie, tell him Joey says hello, and he'll know what it means.
He'll know what it means.
Do you think he's gonna be able to crack that code? And just the sarcasm that goes back and forth is pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, like, and the whole thing then culminates though in the end, where, you know, Joey is basically getting cracked on by Chandler because Chandler comes in and slamming the door because the tailor has measured him inappropriately. Yes. And he's trying to explain this to Joey. And he's like, Joey's like, oh, what do you mean? That's what they do. First they measure the one side, and they move it over, and they measure the other side, and then they do it. And he's like, that's how they do pants. And then I have written down, like, Chandler looking at Ross, and Ross is like, yes, it is. In prison.
That line.
Like, makes me laugh every time.
Yes, it is.
And it's such a small window. Like, Chandler doesn't have anything else going on. I mean, they show him going to the tailor and everything, but most of this episode is stuck around Ross and Rachel. But somehow this really funny Chandler Joey story gets like weaved in, which is really great. Another like excellent way to start the season.
So good. Like, they had to somehow, I feel like, make sure that Joey and Chandler had a great debut to the season as well, and that was such a perfect way. But yeah, and I love how Ross isn't even there at the beginning of that conversation, and he just kind of like walks in, and Joey's looking at him for confirmation that, like, Ross, won't you tell him that's right, isn't it? That's how they do pants. And he's like, his reaction is so good. Yes, it is. In prison. So good.
So what do you make of the Monica Phoebe section of this whole story?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely funny, but also super random. And I love how, like, Monica's hair is perfectly fine, like, the next episode. I mean,
they clearly
short,
don't keep the
Dudley
weird
Moore
haircut style mug. Yeah.
No. Yeah, because apparently Phoebe is able to cut men's hair really well, but totally misunderstood Monica when she wanted a Demi Moore hairstyle. She cut it to Dudley Moore, who honestly I had to look up I'm like, who is Dudley Moore? Sorry, Dudley. But, yeah.
I couldn't have told you.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've looked Dudley Moore up a number of times.
Yeah.
Like every time I see this episode, I'm like, what's that guy look like? Or what is... So,
well,
yeah.
My favorite line of that whole bit is when after everything, she's trying to then fix it, and Phoebe comes out and Monica's in the other room, and she just comes out to the whole group and she goes, she's resting. Like she had just come out of surgery or something. She's like, I put a clip in it on one side, which seems to have stopped the curling. And they want to go in and visit her, and they're like, oh, she's like, oh no, your hair's too nice. Ross, you could go in.
Right. Yes, that's the big punchline there. That's awesome. And Ross's hair doesn't change pretty much. I mean, there's little things, but it's pretty static the whole way through. And I don't know, like I guess they joke on it a little. It doesn't change that much.
Over the series?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's pretty much the same thing.
Oh, you're gonna
It's
rethink
it's
that.
tight to the head. There's not a lot you do with that.
His hair gets really long at different points.
Oh, it does.
It gets
he does
crazy.
grow it out there for a stretch.
Oh yeah, it gets really.
Oh yeah.
You'll see. It'll come back to you.
Well, forgot about that. I blacked it out.
But no, listen, there's like an in-between phase where I prefer it over the gelled, because right now it's like the super gelled, like
it's real tight.
Helmet hair, like it's something. So, and later on,
the rest of them,
he finds a combination.
The rest of them all got like big hair changes for season 2.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Ross did not.
No, yeah. Yeah. The last piece that I wanted to mention myself for this episode was, I actually have to retract a comment that I made in a previous episode. I think it was the last one, where I was like, yeah, it's all about transitions, like Rachel's moved on, and then Paolo's like completely like he's gone for good. I forgot that he makes a reappearance because Rachel is feeling so down in the dumps with what's happening with Ross and Julie that she ends up calling him up and they end up hooking up again. And yeah, oh my God, so bad. I'm like, girl, stop. No.
Listen. I feel like that's fairly true to form.
It is.
Like, that feels like it's an accurate way that story would play out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's in the building. So like, yeah.
Well, and
yeah, but it is what it is. But I think he's gone now.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm 100%. I'll say it again. Like, Paolo's gone. He is
we'll wait for a future retraction.
Yeah, I do not recall him ever coming back and I think I just didn't remember it because this was just like a blip. But
I mean, I'll say this: when he shows up and he steps out of the doorway, he comes over, he's like, "Hey, Ross," and Ross just immediately like forearm pushes him back, like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" You know, like, it's those little things that make me laugh every time. Like, he doesn't go up and shake his hand, doesn't like wave to him. He just kind of like literally puts an arm out. It's like, nope, you're back here. You stay here. And remember, this has all come on the heels of that scene with Ross on the phone with Julie, where it's like high school, and it's, no, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. And Rachel hangs the phone up, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I thought you were talking to me. You know,
Rachel, she's hilarious in this episode. She is so good. Yeah,
it's the best Rachel episode, at least so far.
Yeah,
it's a tie on the list.
I have to say, I mean, there are, like, right now though, it's what's also funny about it is that she's in this position all of a sudden where Ross had been with her and Paolo. Like, he was looking on and just like felt left out, and now all of a sudden the tables are turned really fast, and Rachel is real fast, and now she's like terrible. And you can't help but also feel like, all right, girl, like, you're this jealous when you just discovered you may or may not have feelings for Ross, you know, and it's like these super intense emotions and reactions toward, because she wanted that chance, and now she wants what she can't have. So here we are.
Take a note. Remember, act when you have a chance.
That's right.
You want to go on to episode 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the one, episode 2 is the one with the breast milk. And this is where Monica goes shopping at Bloomingdale's with Julie and has to try and keep it from Rachel. Rachel finds out and attempts to befriend Julie by the end of the episode. Meanwhile, Joey is competing with the Ombre Man to be the best cologne sprayer west of the lingerie, leading to an amazing duel. Also, the group is divided on whether or not they should or shouldn't taste breast milk while Ross is watching Ben. I'll jump into this one first, since I know you let off the last one.
Yes,
and
please.
I want to start with where I think one of the more interesting pieces of this episode is with the Monica going shopping at Bloomingdale's with Julie, because this is the first moment that we get to see Monica painted into a real corner, and it's a realistic one that other people have probably dealt with before, where she is trying to befriend her brother's girlfriend while staying, aligned or loyal to her own best friend. Yeah. And those two things cannot happen equally, specifically right when it's all fresh. But that's when Monica has to be the one to like extend an olive branch to Julie and let her be part of the group. And Rachel is going to stop every single one of those things. And the little scene there where they're all talking about saying, well, this is like cheating on her in her house of worship. She will kill you. She will kill you like a dog in the street, is what Phoebe says.
That's so good.
It is an amazing line, but it puts some seriousness on it. And I just really enjoy watching them kind of struggle through this moment. What do you think?
Yeah, I love that line too, about cheating in her house of worship. I have that also written down. And I think that is such a relatable scenario, for sure, when you're having to, like, you're trying to make everyone happy. And, Monica, I feel like she is super loyal to Rachel in particular and all of her friends, but she also is just like a sweet person too, and wants to just be courteous and kind to Julie. And that whole scene where I love how Phoebe gets kind of roped in, because I think at different points what's great about this group is that they all try to support each other while being true to the entire friend group at the same time. So like Phoebe, while she's trying to like kind of lie for Monica, she also, I think, like is a bit torn about that too, and that comes out in a few different areas throughout the show. But when she's like, we went shopping for fur, and Rachel's just like, you went shopping for fur? Because Phoebe is a vegetarian and very, like, that would not be something that she would do. And
yeah, then I realized I'm against that.
Right, then I realized I'm against that, yeah. So, yeah, and then later, how this kind of continues to play out in the episode where Julie calls the house then, and Monica picks up the phone and she's like, hi, Jew. And she's like, and Rachel's like, who was that? Who are you calling Jew? And she's like, oh, it was Eddie Moskowitz. He's really into his faith. And it's like, oh my God. Like,
reaffirms
what?
him.
Reaffirms his faith. Yeah. And,
man.
Yeah. That's...
yeah. And then when it gets down to it and Rachel catches her, and they have that dialogue that goes back and forth like someone who's been caught in an affair. It's peak moment of this episode at this point.
Yes.
Which is funny because they're clearly talking about one thing while speaking of it in a way that is similar to a breakup or an affair or whatever, which is a little bit different than what's going on, but they're using the same like catch line, standard stereotypical language. And I thought it played out very similarly because in that next scene or like two scenes later, you get Joey and Chandler doing the exact same thing, talking about a problem that Joey is having while Chandler is acting in the scene like he's an old-time bartender. And like you get that same like, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
It's like a glossing of a different, very stereotypical scene on top of the layers of what the friends are actually going through.
Well, and Monica says, well, one thing led to another, and before I knew it, we were shopping. Rachel's just like, oh my God. Well, we only did it that once. It didn't mean anything. I was thinking of you the whole time.
Right. Yes.
And Rachel's just like, I just have to know one thing. Did you go to her did you bring her to Bloomingdale's? And she's like,
she doesn't even say anything.
I just have, and she's just silent. She's like, okay, I have to just not be with you right now. She just walks away. And I think, that scene with Chandler and Joey, is that the next that's the next episode, right?
No, it's in the same episode.
Oh, it's in the same one.
This is Joey dealing with the issues of being the hombre man, or having to try and compete with the hombre man, where he is, at the department store as a cologne sprayer. And this other guy stepped in with this new, more manly cologne. And so when Joey offers Bijan for men and people pass it down, then this next guy comes up and is like, hombre. And they're like, yeah. And so they take the spray of the hombre man's cologne, which is crazy. But then you get Joey walking in full hombre gear with the cowboy suit, and sounds like he's got spurs kicking, and sits down at the counter, and Chandler's just there, like wiping it down with a rag, sliding him drinks, and trying to say, like, well, what are you gonna do? Like, you can't just leave and go up to Housewares and slice cheese. Somebody's gonna slice a better cheddar. Then what are you gonna do? It's like, yeah. And it's a good lesson. Like, you can't just run from your problems. You gotta stick it out. So of course then they get into the duel where they open the door, the customer comes in, Joey quick draw, but he can't get the spray off, and the hombre man sprays this guy straight in the eyes, pending lawsuits, and Joey walks off into the fake sunset with the girl. Which does beg the question, does he just like show up, the store opens, and then he gets to leave?
Yes. That is kind of how it seemed.
That's craziness. Like, what?
Yeah.
What planet are we on? That's not real. He's like, oh, you want to go get a cup of coffee? I'm like, Joey, the store just opened.
Well, his priority was getting the girl, and he does not. This is why Joey does not keep jobs for very long.
Yeah, but listen, he was just at home complaining about how he wasn't going to be the best sprayer in the West. Now he's leaving. You're never going to be the best sprayer. Come on, man. What are we doing here?
Yeah, but why did he want to be the best sprayer? It wasn't about the cologne. He wanted the girl. That was the whole thing. He was upset because the other cowboy dude was stepping on his turf, and she wanted to be with the other guy, and now he's like, all right, mission accomplished. But also, remember when people really did spray you with cologne when you went into a department store? That was a thing.
I haven't seen that in a long time. To be fair, I haven't been in a department store in a long time either.
Well,
I know they're out there, but I can't imagine there are people actively spraying at those like perfumes. I don't even know if those things exist.
It was always around, like, when you'd first walk into a department store, there's still like those makeup, where you can buy different. Yeah,
but I don't think there's anybody like actively operating at those. Like, they don't have a cashier there, do they? That's got to be like a cut cost situation.
The last that I really kind of observed, I guess, in a department store, what was going on is most of the time there would be one person like running around from section to section.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they don't want to keep, they're not hiring like 2 people for each little area as they used to. Now it's like they'll have one person for like every 3 sections, and they'll just be locking up one area, and because there aren't enough people shopping in these places to make it worthwhile. So
there's a mall, and by mall, I mean the building looks like a mall, not too far from us, and like there is at least one department store still connected to that, maybe two, and I think that they've got a handful of people at like an upstairs and a downstairs cash register, and that's it.
Yeah.
And like, but you see, like, there are registers in like every department, but none of them are being used. And for whatever reason, they haven't gone to self-check. Probably because, I mean, I don't know.
That would be probably even more of an expense to put all that in. I don't know. But either way, it's that would be weird. I never thought about that. It would be weird to see self-checkout in a mall. I wonder why they haven't.
They haven't because people just buy stuff off of Amazon and have it sent to their house, and it's on their doorstep, so nobody actually goes to the mall.
Yeah.
There's one mall by us that is still thriving, that is doing very well, and it is in a major city, and that makes sense. But any of these smaller malls that used to exist, they're just all turned into hospitals or casinos or whatever.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know if the kids go to the mall like we used to as a kid. It was like,
as someone with kids who are that age, they couldn't care less about the mall.
Yeah, it's like we would go to the movies, go bowling, or go to the mall. Those were like the three things that we would do.
These kids are going to go on Snapchat. They're going to go on Snapchat, and they're going to play Fortnite, and that's what they're doing.
Oh, I hate it. But,
well,
I mean...
as is what the times are.
I guess I'm sure the old fogies said that about us when we were
probably
hanging out at the mall. I don't know.
Listen, our generation was awesome.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying. Well, we've taken a significant sidetrack from this episode.
The other
we have to get to at least the breast milk tasting section of this.
My favorite part about the breast milk, because they're all... Ross and Chandler and Rachel are all equally weirded out by the breast milk, and the other three are like, it's fine, it's just breast milk, and not weirded out at all. And I just love Chandler's reaction when he goes, "What did you just do?" when Joey licks the breast milk off of his own arm, and then Phoebe does the same too, and it's like, because they're tasting it. It's Ben's lunch, and they're all just, testing it out.
See, that I do like that. And I do laugh when Chandler says, "What did you just do?" in the way that he does. But I will say it's more telling. And maybe because I'm just always like, me and Ross, I feel like we are similar. So like, if I was in Ross's shoes, and he's standing there, and they're talking about it, and he says, "No, breast milk is gross." And Carol's like, "Wait, my breast milk is gross?" And he's like, "What?" And Chandler comes in with, "Well, of course, the packaging does appeal to grown-ups and babies alike."
That's right.
and you get this followed up with, "Well, it tastes like Susan saying, cantaloupe juice." And Ross is then like absolutely flabbergasted with the, "You've tasted it? You've tasted it? Oh, you've tasted it."
That's so good.
Like, I can see that from like everything that he's going through, trying to be a dad, and at the same time having to deal with this relationship situation that they're in.
Yes.
He doesn't want to be left out, and he also can't do it, but he knows that she's done it. It's just going to eat at him until the very end of the episode, when he does eventually taste it with about 16 Oreos.
Well, because then in that scene, he's like, give me the bottle. And he puts it on his arm, and then he, like, is about to, and then he's just like, give me a towel. And then he just rubs it off, like, immediately, and he's like, forget it, and just walks away. His whole, like, just all of his mannerisms and his comedy, I love that so much about him. He's, yeah.
Awesome.
So funny.
It's a really good episode. It's a really good episode.
And then at the end where Rachel, it seems like she's trying to then make an effort to almost befriend Julie because she knows she's put even Monica in this like really awkward situation too. And so she's like, you know what, let me extend an olive branch. And she even says to her, like, I realize I've probably, maybe have come off. I forget how she puts it. I don't have the words written down for that section, but it's like it seems like they're relating. And then after Julie walks away, she's like, oh, maybe we can go out to a movie sometime. And she's like, all right, sounds good. I gotta go. And after Julie walks away, Rachel just under her breath is like, what a manipulative bitch. Like she's just back to the square one about like, just nope. She was trying her best, but definitely not going to become friends with her, but she tried. She tried. Maybe.
Worth the effort, worth trying. It's too soon. It's not going to happen. Okay, so season 2, episode 3 is the one where Heckles dies, and our synopsis here is that Mr. Heckles dies and leaves his earthly possessions to the noisy girls upstairs, and Chandler ends up seeing a lot of himself in Mr. Heckles. Ross is trying to convince Phoebe that evolution is real, while Rachel is trying to get Monica to accept that she can furnish some of the apartment as well. So it's a pretty short synopsis because genuinely everything is kind of happening around the Heckles apartment cleaning up.
Yep.
And we've talked about how, I tend to enjoy a lot of the episodes where it's just the 6 of them and they're kind of in the same place at the same time, or they kind of break them into groups of 2 and like spread them throughout. And you see like different teams depending on how they break them up. But this was one of those episodes where everybody sticks together and they're all pretty much in the same place for most of the time.
Yep.
Do you have anything that jumped out at you for this episode?
Yeah. So, I mean, my favorite part about this episode is definitely Phoebe's conversation with Ross where she's messing with him about evolution, and it's hilarious because she goes into this whole argument with how I'm trying to remember how evolution even came up, but they were in Heckles' apartment and I think it was a book they were looking at or something.
They were talking about different things, like that it would have been difficult. Like they were. Oh man, what were they? It was different pieces of things. Like I feel like it was like flat Earth or this things that had been proven, over time to be true.
Yes,
and somehow they got to evolution, and Phoebe's like, or maybe it was the opposite. Things that were completely fictitious. Oh, gosh. I don't know.
Yeah. No. Well, either way, Ross ends up saying to Phoebe, like, well, you believe in evolution, right? And she's like, no, not really. And Ross is like, just kind of saying, you mean the process of everything evolving over millions of years from a tiny organism is too easy? Because that's what Phoebe's saying, is that it's just too simple. She thinks that there could be many different, ways that everything could have formed. And she's like, yeah, don't even get me started on gravity. It's not so much that I'm being pulled down as I'm being pushed. Yeah. And I just love that line from her. But then after all of their going back and forth, they kind of keep going in and out of this conversation throughout the episode. And then by the end, it's really clear that she's just messing with him, and she's just saying, you know, I'm not denying evolution. I'm just saying it's not the only possibility that there, you know, can't you just, are you so like egotistical or so arrogant is what she says, that like you think that there nothing else could have possibly happened, like there isn't even a teeny tiny possibility. And she gets him to admit that like, well, maybe there's a teeny tiny possibility, like after all of this, you know, back and forth. And she's just like, oh my God, I can't believe you just caved. Wow. I at least I respected you before, you know, when I thought you had principles. And he's like, what? He just flips out and leaves.
I mean, she backed him into a really good argument, which was, you know, hundreds of years ago, everybody thought the world was flat, and it turned out that it wasn't. And then like 50 years ago, you guys all thought the atom was the smallest thing out there until you broke it into pieces and all this other crazy stuff came out. So are you willing to tell me that you think you're so egotistical to think that this is the last thing? And it's a good argument.
It is, right?
Because
like, how do you...
The funny thing about science is true. It is fact. It is what we know until we know the next thing. Like, you can't unknow what comes up in the future. You know what I mean? You have to live in the science that we know today. But as our scientists are making groundbreaking discoveries, we start to shift. And if all of a sudden evolution gets completely blown up because of something that we learn in the future, then so be it. Phoebe will be proven to be right. It's not happened yet, but
I mean,
but it is kind of like the thing that we're going on today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think there was Carl Sagan who wrote about like the arrogance of thinking that you were alone, like that we're the only life form in all the galaxies. And so I feel like she was kind of using a similar argument to Ross, and who's a scientist. I'm sure he's very aware of that argument, which is completely valid. And it's like, you know, to think that all we know from science, which is a lot, but it always keeps changing, and like we learn new things too over time, which is the nature of science. And so being open to that, I just love the line, before I didn't agree with you, but at least I respected you.
Oh, that's brutal.
And
that's brutal. And then Ross,
he's
who's
like,
got
are you
this,
kidding me?
he's got this briefcase of incredibly delicate fossils, just has to slowly close it and walk away.
And walked away. And the whole group of them, everyone else in the room. And then she's like, oh, that was fun. Who wants lunch?
Like, just completely destroyed that for no reason whatsoever.
Yes. Yeah. So that to me, that was my favorite part. That and also just Chandler comparing himself to Heckles and what that means for his character. I feel like they're trying to have him have this moment of just more clarity around, you know, his commitment issues, and just like his inability to connect, his intimacy issues, and he's now afraid that I'm going to become like Heckles, who's just, you know, a hermit, is in his apartment, like surrounded by stuff. He's like become a hoarder. And
listen, I'm going to say this. They did a better job with Chandler and Mr. Heckles than they did when they tried to make Monica Monana.
Oh,
okay.
For sure.
The whole like taking this character and showing them a way that they could be otherwise. Like, this at least seems to ring true. And you see Chandler even grab the broom and start banging the roof with it. And all these other little pieces of, oh, he was the class clown in the yearbook. And, oh, he has this big book of things that were wrong with all these girls he dated. And you can see how Chandler has these similar traits, and that if everything did line up a certain way, Chandler's not wrong. This could be him. but he's got a lot more going for him. And so
no, and I think it was good because it was like it gave a glimpse of, well, this is kind of where my attitude has been directing me in this area, but it was clear that he had this moment where he realized, oh, I don't want that though. Like, I want more than that. I want, well, he still doesn't know what he wants by the end of all this, but he knows that he doesn't want to be Mr. Heckles. And that's clear.
Yeah. And then Chandler gets the last line there, like, hey, we'll try to keep it down for you, and flips the light and closes it out that way. Like, it is a good moment for Chandler. It's not like, it's not the best Friends story that's ever been told, but it's better than Monana. That's all I'm going to say.
Although at least it brought Janice back into the episode, because then because he is then so desperate that he wants this connection. And of course, who does he reach out to but Janice, because she is always his go-to, and she shows up at Central Perk, and she walks in super pregnant and married, and her line to him saying, what does she say? Oh, she just looks at him and she's like,
yeah, good.
Janice just likes to have her fun.
Yeah.
Because he's like, couldn't you have just told me this over the phone? And it's like, she just wanted to see his expression when she walked in. So, yeah.
There is not a scene that Janice doesn't touch that I don't think is funny. I've learned this. I didn't realize that going back through, but as I'm now watching them, every time she shows up, I'm laughing.
Oh, yeah.
And that is just a great point. Although that feels like a real fast turnaround for her to suddenly be married and pregnant and real pregnant.
Yeah.
I mean, that
you're right.
Feels quick since they were just on a blind date together. And
well, I guess.
Yeah, that was Valentine's Day.
Well, no, think about this though. That was Valentine's Day.
Yeah, so would you get married in March?
Of the Okay, well, I guess she got pregnant and then decided, well, I gotta get hitched.
Oh, boy.
It was clearly a shotgun wedding.
Yeah, fair enough, but this math that you're playing out there is the same as when you were trying to explain that young Ethan is only 4 years younger than Monica, so it's not that big a deal.
Well, no, I'm thinking because
this is ridiculous.
We're already almost, by the time we are through, okay, I guess we do still have a few more episodes to get to the holidays, so yeah. It's fast. It's fast. Listen, the timeline is unclear, but all we know is that Janice is pregnant and married, and we'll just let the reality be suspended.
Okay.
For that moment. And
fair enough. But I will say, I don't have a whole lot else to say about this, but I do have to say, I will quote Joey unending in this episode with his supposedly.
Oh my
supposedly.
God.
Did they go to the zoo? Supposedly.
He's just sitting alone saying this to himself. That will randomly just pop into my head too.
All the time.
Supposedly?
All the time, because because that's one of Chandler's grievances is that they pronounce supposedly wrong. And or pronounces supposedly like supposedly. And Joey is like, what do you mean? That's fine.
I gotta say, I am on board with Chandler with that. I would not be able to handle that either. At all.
Fair enough.
Supposedly, no. That's no, I'm out.
I feel like if I say it, I'm gonna say it in joke. I might quote it and not realize that I'm doing it, but that's the thing. Like, I end up speaking in Friends terms to people who don't know, and that makes me sad. But that's okay.
It's like library. Like, no, just stop.
That one's worse. That was way worse.
It's all bad.
All right, so let's jump into episode 4 then, which is the one with Phoebe's husband. It's the last episode we're going to talk about today. Ross confides in Rachel about not having sex with Julie, and she is stuck trying to give him real or bad advice. At the same time, Phoebe's gay ice dancer husband shows up, and he is looking for a divorce so he can get married to a woman. The gang is also crushing Chandler for his third nipple throughout this episode.
Oh yeah.
Now,
his nubbin.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't have as much to say about this one as the previous ones. I didn't even, as I was typing out the synopsis, writing Phoebe's gay ice dancer husband, I'm like, is that the way that I write this? Like, that's how it is, because it's Phoebe's husband, who's an ice dancer, who's gay, but isn't.
Yep.
Because he wants the divorce so he can get married to a woman because he's coming out as straight.
And he's played by Steve Zahn. And
yes,
that whole thing is, so yeah, Phoebe, he's Canadian, right? And so she married him thinking that he was gay just for like a green card marriage. But Phoebe also had feelings for him, and Monica knew that, and the whole like back and forth between Phoebe and Monica, where Monica's like shaming her about the whole thing, is just very classic Monica as well. And Ross's line saying like, see, and you thought she'd be judgmental.
Right.
Yeah. And because she is, because Monica is just super judgmental. But it also is a very bizarre situation that Phoebe's got herself in. No one knows out of the gang that she's married at all. So I think that
this is one of the very few Phoebe spotlights, by the way, so far. We're 28 episodes into Friends, and I don't think, other than when David shows up, this might be the only other time that we really get like a real look at Phoebe with like guest stars. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
And I have the one line from this episode that I wrote down is, you're married to someone for 6 years, and then one day he comes out and says, I'm not gay. there's so much in that sentence.
And yeah, him at the end saying, you just reach a point where you can't live a lie anymore. All my friends are gay. I'm an ice dancer. I was just trying to fit in.
Yeah. You throw such great award parties.
Yes.
Like, how many stereotypes can we check in a row?
I know.
Bang, bang, bang. Like, we're going to get them all.
I know.
And they're like, have you told your parents? No, but my brother's straight, so I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, that was that was really funny. Although the whole thing was like just super random, but I guess that's kind of on brand for Phoebe too, and it kind of also gives you insight into just who Phoebe is, her character. I feel like she's always just trying to do something out of kindness and to help other people, and that comes up time and time again throughout the series, where like, well, is there a such thing as, remember the whole debate between her and Joey that comes up in later seasons, where can you do something that is truly selfless?
Yes.
And I think I feel like that concept comes up for Phoebe with her character. So I like that.
She's always the one trying to do something selfless.
Yes.
But a lot of these times she does it and then she feels good about it. So because in Joey's logic, because she feels good about it, then it's not really selfless. It's selfish.
Right. Yeah.
We also have the big scene in this one at the start where they're all kind of like, they figure out, what is it? Monica's underwear is the one on the line, and then clearly Chandler has told somebody else that. So then Monica outs Chandler as having the third nipple, and then Chandler outs Joey for being in a porno movie.
Yes.
And this whole thing rolls around, and all it does ultimately is lead to a lot of third nipple jokes with Chandler that kind of just run throughout the episode. But it also connects to the scene where the whole gang with Julie are at Ross's apartment, and Chandler has brought the porno. He's like, hey, let's watch this. And I find it funny because this is a scene now where we see the girls. Rachel is now the one looking for help. She's looking for help from her girls. And she's like, oh, I don't want to watch a porno. And says something to Monica. And Monica's like, hell, I want to see Joey.
Yes.
Doesn't read the room at all.
Or doesn't
understand what Rachel's going for.
Yeah,
the boys all have each other's back all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But Monica just leaves Rachel out to dry.
Out to dry. That's so true. Yeah, I think my favorite line going back to when they're going back and forth, as you pointed out, with the Monica's underwears on the terrace, and they find out, it's when she was out on the balcony with Fun Bobby one time, and she's like, well, how did you guys know that? And I guess she must have confided in Chandler, or he saw, I don't know, and either way, he knew, and she then calls out that he has a third nipple, and Joey just looks, and he calls it a nubbin, and she's like, you see something, you hear a word, and just figured it's what it is.
You know what? I'm not going to disagree with that logic.
Right?
If you show me a thing that I don't know, and you say, hey, this is a this, and it's a word I've never heard of
Sounds
before,
right. Yeah.
I'm going to sound okay. Makes sense to me.
Let's roll with that. Yeah.
Obviously, the scene with Rachel and Ross outside the door to end it's brutal for Rachel, right? She's trying so hard to get Ross to see her in that light. And again, he's just so excited about Julie, he can't even sort of see it. Even though she kind of gets him into this entrancement.
Yes.
I don't know how else to call it.
Yes.
But she kind of sucks him into this web.
Yep.
But then he just hard breaks out.
He's like, all right, see you later. Yeah.
Thanks, Rachel. See ya.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can't really, it's again, you can't really feel too bad for Rachel because of what just happened with her leaving her husband and then Paolo and then going back to her husband. And then it's then back to Paolo. It's okay, girl. It's,
if
can't
you
really
feel bad for Rachel here, show you season 1.
Yes.
When she's doing all this and worse right in front of Ross.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Nah, not having it.
Yeah. Although she didn't know about his feelings, but still. But he doesn't know about hers. So they're even.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Same thing. Okay, so with that, we've now wrapped up all 4 of the episodes we're going to talk about here on this podcast. But let's get into the IMDb rankings. Now, this is where we take a look at what each episode's rankings have been voted on by the fans. It's a 10-star system, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. And for what it's worth, last week we talked about the one with fake Monica, and it is the worst. And we even put out a short about it.
Yeah.
And to be fair to fake Monica, okay, it got a 7.6. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
We're making it sound like it's a 2.
I know.
But it is the worst. So let's keep that in mind.
Yeah.
As we go forward. Going forward, 7.6 is the worst. And 8.8, the one with the blackout, is the best as we move forward.
Okay.
So, with that, let's just talk about these 4. Do you have a favorite?
Yes, I do. My favorite is the first episode of the season. The whole Rachel entering the scene flustered and out of breath, and then just how funny she was throughout that entire episode. I mean, that's, I feel like, one of my episodes overall that it's just one of my favorites.
That is a slam dunk.
Yeah.
It is the best episode of these 4. Now we're not doing this with 8. We're only doing this with 4.
Yeah.
But that was my favorite as well. And it was by a pretty wide margin. So I'll be interested to see what the ratings are.
Yeah.
Did you have a worst?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
your least favorite?
So my least favorite was actually the one that we just talked about last, the one with Phoebe's husband. And there were funny scenes in it, and I love Steve Zahn, but it just wasn't, like, out of these 4, it was just the one where I felt like there wasn't as much happening. Like, by the end of the episode, it was sort of like, all right, well, that gave definitely a snapshot into Phoebe's life, but it just didn't really have as much going on. Like, some of the others are just joke after joke and just like lots of, you know, just filled with other stuff. So I just felt like, that was kind of my least favorite out of these 4. How about you?
So I was torn, but I kind of gave each of mine a rating.
Okay.
Not in numbers, just in some words.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't forget what I liked or what I didn't like. I have that one slightly ahead of the one where Heckles
Okay,
dies.
sure. Those are my my bottom 2 as well.
The thing was, I liked the scene with them all out in each other's secrets. I like the Phoebe and Steve Zahn scene, and Ross and Rachel outside the apartment it's just better than like arguing over a seashell lamp and like, you know,
that's true.
Oh, I did write down, my God, that's a big head. Nice smile, good dresser, big head, big head, big head. Forgot about that. That is funny. But
that was in Mr. Heckles. Yeah.
That was in Mr. Heckles. That was Chandler deciding to go on the date with the girl. But that whole scene, that episode, just a little bit lower. I'm curious as to where that one ranks versus Monana. But we shall see. Are you ready?
Nostrils are huge. She leaned back. I could see her brain.
Okay. Here is the rankings. In first, the one with Ross's new girlfriend, an 8.4.
Yeah.
Second is the one where Heckles dies, 8.2.
Oh, okay.
The one with the breast milk comes in third at a flat 8, and then a 7.8, the one with Phoebe's husband. So you had the two of them the same. I would have put the one with the breast milk better than either of the other ones.
I would too.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to rate it on my own. Bang. Let's get that a little higher.
All right. Let's see what impression you have on IMDb.
I don't think it made any difference at all since there's 10,000 votes in there. But maybe more people get on my side. That one's definitely better.
Yeah, the whole perfume sequence in that, it was kind of like weird and random. So I can understand it. But yeah. You liked it.
Listen, Joey's got some weird side jobs, but the ombre guy, like, that's fun. And I like the scene with Chandler and being the bartender.
Yeah.
Plus, just the whole, you get the Ross and Susan dynamic, which I know a lot of people hate Susan. I've been on the Reddit. Like, people are absolutely crushing Carol and Susan. Yeah, they really don't like him. Like, I've been just kind of trolling through the How You Doing Reddit, which is kind of funny. And there are some people in there that just absolutely hate Susan. Now, for me, I'm looking at it going, I get it early. Okay? And they were all kind of thrust into this. But after Ben is born, I feel like it's all, like, in good fun at that point. So, like, I don't have a problem with it. I like, Susan kind of comes around on me, like, in the long term.
What is Susan? One of my favorite, I was trying to remember what the line was where Susan says to Ross, and this was last season, where he's in their apartment and he sees all these books about women and for women, and he's like, wow, you got a lot of books about I don't know if he says about being a lesbian, just about being, or
yes,
just, yeah,
yes, he
I
does.
got a lot of books. He's like, yeah, they make you read them before they let you do it, and it's just
they make you take a
that's
course,
right.
Otherwise they won't
They
let
won't
you
let
do
you
it.
do it, and it is she's deadpan when she says it, and it's super funny, and that made me actually really like her a lot. And I think that Susan's great. I think that and Carol too is. You can see how much she still really cares about Ross and is just so loving. And I just think that they're awesome characters. So I'm surprised. I don't pay as much attention. Like, I haven't seen that so much on.
I think the hate comes from, like, you know, they really thought that they wouldn't be able to use the name Geller. Like, where does she get off? How is the last name going to be Will Bunch?
Yeah,
it's not even her kid.
Yeah, that was...
Like, that's not real. Yeah. And it's like, okay. But that was never really real. No, that wasn't ever going to happen. Yeah. Like,
I almost felt like they were just trolling him or something at that point. Like, they're just like...
I first of all, that's not even the right Carol. Okay? Let's just take that. We don't count anything she said. Second, like, this is your first interaction with Susan. And that scene has got to be played out as an antagonist character to Ross.
Yes.
Early on. Now, they grow out of that, and they should, but early on, that's what it looks like. But anyway, the one with the breast milk with Susan and Carol ends up being third on the list, which is a little surprising to me, but it is what it is.
And here we are. Nice.
Here we are. Well, thanks so much for listening to the We Run on Reruns podcast. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Please check out our website, werunonreruns.com, and feel free to get involved and ask questions or email us at werunonreruns@gmail.com. For Amanda, this is Eric. Have a great week, and don't forget, this week, midweek, we'll be putting out another episode, Season 2, Episodes 5 through 8. Happy rerunning, everybody.
See you later, guys.